Joining us now, Chairman of the House Committee on Homeland Security, Republican Congressman McCaul of Texas. It is really quite interesting what we're going to be watching today at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, this meeting. I guess, first of all, what do you hope will come out of this meeting?
Well, I think a couple of things. There are many issues on the table. Syria, what Russia is doing in Syria. I think North Korea, the meeting with President of China, would be very important to leverage the North Koreans to stop their nuclear program, which will be a very difficult task. And then Ukraine, I just came back from the region in Ukraine where there's Russian aggression. They annexed Crimea, and there are cyber attacks in Ukraine on a daily basis to destabilize their government, just like they try to destabilize the elections all throughout Europe. So I think there are a lot of media issues on the table. I know the president wants to reach out to him, but I think he also needs to be firm with this man who doesn't always have interest at heart.
So you named three really important issues. What about Russian meddling in the election?
It's not on their agenda, but I do think the president should bring this up. It is the elephant in the room, and I think it's important. It's an important issue to the American people, and it's important for the American president to raise it with him, to let him know that we know it happened, and then we're not going to stand for that. There will be consequences. When I got briefed before the elections by the Obama administration, I urged them to call out Russia and take action. It didn't really happen. I hope that could happen in this meeting. And also in the Congress, Mika, we have a Russia sanctions bill that I hope to get passed the next week or two when we get back up there.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has an op-ed in a German newspaper, and in it he denounces the rampage by cyber criminals, hacker groups, and all those who encroach on the privacy of individuals or the sovereignty of states by using cutting-edge technologies. What's your reaction to that?
A bit of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
I see Russia, and of course China's involved in this as well, but Russia is one of the major offenders of sovereignty of nations, both in this campaign disinformation warfare they have in elections, to cyber warfare, to, they literally shut down the government in Ukraine last month. They shut down Estonia. They're continuing to sort of display their capabilities both in stealing intellectual property, espionage, and cyber warfare. I think that should be a topic of discussion as well.
A bit rich on Vladimir Putin's part, given that just a few weeks ago he called these hackers patriots. But let me ask you, Congressman, about a subject that we talked about earlier in the show, and that's about looking ahead, because there are reports about Russian hackers infiltrating or snooping around nuclear sites here in the U.S., obviously power grids here in the U.S., and of course elections in the future. What is being done? Obviously the president is not talking about it the way we would hope he would, but what is being done within Washington to safeguard some of these issues?
Well, both the military and the Department of Homeland Security have a role, primarily DHS in the private sector, but with something like a nuclear power plant. I read the article as well. We've been briefed on this threat. It's very disturbing, but I think, Mika, it demonstrates how aggressive Russia has become now, not only in Eastern Europe, but now in the United States, trying to not only meddle in our elections, but also nuclear facilities. And then finally, there's a report that 150 new Russian spies may have been dispatched to the United States. So if we don't stand up to this and say, there are consequences to this, it's going to continue. And I didn't see with President Obama. I'm hopeful that this president will begin to raise the issue.
Sir, Philip Bump from the Washington Post. Have you seen, so on Thursday, President Trump, during this speech in Poland, said that he thought, or during the press conference, said he thought it was Russia and perhaps others. Have you seen any evidence at all that others besides the Russians, any other state actors, were involved in these hacking attempts in 2016?
Well, I mean, certainly WikiLeaks dumped the information out there, but no, the intelligence reports I've received in briefings, very clear and convincing evidence it was a nation-state attack by Russia, and I don't think you can really dispute that. And I think the DNI, CIA director, everybody who's had the briefing is consistent in saying that.
Congressman Michael McCaul, thank you very much.